Hey, this is Joe Blasco, and we are very fortunate today to be in the Valley with Barney Burman at the Proteus FX Studios. Barney, thank you so much for having us here today. It's
My
great
pleasure,
to see you. It's been a long time.
It has. Thank
Yes,
you for coming out.
Yeah. You know,
yeah,
you just taught over at the school, and I have to thank you publicly for doing such a really great job.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'd like to have you back there sometime soon.
That would be quite enjoyment.
Yeah, great. Listen, I love your lab. We're going to be giving a tour of the lab, which is going to be a real treat for you. You know, we have people watching from all over the world. This isn't just a
all over the world.
All over the world. So we've got a really great following, and this is kind of my way of opening up the entire Hollywood community to the world, and so they can see who we are, what we're all about, what we're working on, how we think. You know.
Yeah.
So, what are you working on? What's going on?
Well, right now, Hollywood's in a bit of a drought, and so they've been. There have been some contractual disputes, as you know, I'm sure, with the actors and the producers, so things are a little dry. I've had enough stuff to keep me going here and there, knock wood, but I don't have a major crew happening right now. I've got, I think, 5 or 6 projects that I'm attached to, and that people are just waiting to green light.
Come through. Right.
What they're hesitating until contracts. So we've got a couple things going. Some of them are designs for some of these projects, and then there's one project that we're doing downstairs, which is a very elaborate makeup of silicone prosthetics with hand-punched hair into every one of the pieces.
Yeah, I didn't get a close look, but it looked really terrific.
Yeah,
you have what appears to be a very large facility, so we're going to be we're very lucky to be able to be here and to see Barney's facility, because it is one of the the best known facilities here. I mean, there are a lot of labs in town, obviously, but Barney's been around. You've been around a long time.
Yeah, I've been 23, 24 years in this business.
Yeah,
and grew up around it, of course.
Right. Now, your father is
Tom Burman.
Tom, correct. And how's he doing?
He's doing good.
We have to get him on camera.
I think you should. He's got some amazing stuff, but they've been working on Nip Tuck and Grey's Anatomy and doing some really beautiful medical stuff.
Yeah, he's been very busy.
Yeah.
That's terrific. How did you get into this business? I mean, obviously your father had great influence.
Yes.
Tell us, give us a little rundown on how one follows in one father's footsteps, especially when they're such big footsteps to fill.
I got to give him credit, because he never pushed us into anything. He just, whatever we wanted to do, whatever made us happy. And to be honest, I didn't have any interest in makeup, and I just did it really and worked in shops as a way of making money, paying bills. I was pursuing an acting career for about 15 years, and I got gigs here and there, and I had brief periods of time where I was a working actor, but they just were few and far between. Meanwhile, makeup started to blossom. My dad sent me to Houston to do the film Powder.
Yes.
And
you did that film?
Yeah.
Beautiful work.
Thank you. Thank you. Myself and Steve Laporte did Sean Patrick Flannery, the lead character of Powder. And that put me in the union. And then I started to see what life was like as a union makeup artist, and the sets I can get on, and the people I can make up.
You didn't run 100 miles in the opposite
I loved
direction.
it. I started to really open up. It can be intimidating at first, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I ended up working with on The Grinch and Planet of the Apes. I did 6 films under Rick Baker. All the films I worked on for my dad, and I had other people like Steve Laporte who were giving me a lot of opportunities in sculpting and painting and expanding my artistic side. And it just kind of blossomed. And then,
what do you like best? In your lab work, What do you like? Do you like mold making best? Do you like sculpting best? What application? Formulating, foaming. What really turns you on?
I love sculpting. I love to sculpt, and the easy answer is I love the whole thing. I love going from I know I love going from 0 to 60, doing the whole bit. But I think if I just had to do one part of it, and sometimes I have to reserve just one part of something for me because I'm too busy. I like the sculpting. I'm starting to learn ZBrush, which is digital sculpting, which is just fantastic, and I think vital for any...
Tell us about that.
ZBrush?
Yes.
It's a 3D sculpting program, and this is the way things are going now.
Yes.
Like last year we did the film Star Trek. That's coming out in May.
Yes.
And we had designs that were done in ZBrush, which is a 3D sculpting program, and then they can print it out in 3 dimensions. So you have a little maquette this big, or whatever size you choose to make it, of what you just sculpted in this program.
Yes.
And there it is. It's like, make that.
Yes.
You know, it's not colored yet, but all the structure is there.
Yes.
So now turn that into a makeup.
How amazing.
And what they can even do is they're talking about eventually making like a sculpture in ZBrush. You can separate the piece that you sculpted from a likeness of the actor and print it out, and you've got basically the appliance that you can then put on and mold.
That is amazing.
It's incredible stuff.
But isn't that a bit frightening? I mean, for someone who came up in the ranks with ultracal under your fingernails.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what is that?
It's very much
feel about that?
It's a learning process. It's a little bit scary to start from zero again.
Yes.
And it's a little bit exciting too. But I'm sure I've heard stories that Jack Pierce didn't want to get into foam latex. He hated foam latex. Right. But if he had evolved into foam latex, then he would have been a master at it. He would have kept his standing throughout the rest of his life as one of the greatest makeup artists of all time.
Yes.
So
I think maybe you get to an age, you know, when you say, "Oh God, I've got to relearn this."
Yes.
Like I just got this new iPhone today, and it's like, what am I going to do with this thing? So, but you're still a young man. You're very young, and even if you were to begin from scratch, I mean, you've got a long time ahead of you.
I hope so.
Absolutely. And so these new horizons must just be incredibly exciting. I see, and I'm glad to see that, because you've got a sparkle in your eye when you talk about it. You know, it's great.
It's new and evolutionary stuff that I think you have to evolve into if you're going to survive.
Right, absolutely. And you know what's exciting to me about it? Not that I would, you know, get back into the business in that respect. Been there, done that, so to speak.
Sure.
But what's exciting to me is that it's a new avenue for our students, for us to begin teaching our students.
Absolutely.
You know, perhaps we should talk about that.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Because ZBrush and Photoshop are becoming critical tools.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. All right, now, let's talk about application. Now, some fellows choose to work with foam latex. I mean, it's, you know, the standard foam latex. Others have gravitated, like Matthew Mungle, to gelatin. Greg Canham, silicone. What is your preference as far as medium is concerned?
I don't even have an oven here. I don't run foam latex in here. If I ever have to do it, I farm it out to somebody.
You do.
I have come to absolutely love and cherish platinum-based silicone.
Yes.
And platinum-based silicone is the same kind of silicone they use for implants.
Yes.
So it's a medical grade.
Yes.
And it's not harming anybody.
Yes.
I use medical grade adhesives. And you know, I feel good that I'm applying things to people that aren't necessarily carcinogens.
Right, exactly.
And not that I
Nor
think,
is the process carcinogenic process.
Exactly. And not that I think that anybody's, you know, going to get makeup on them one time and get a skin cancer from it. It's not going to happen. Yeah. If you were to have it like every single day for 6 or 7 years, you're maybe going to endanger your skin.
Yes.
But makeup still is very makeup artists very concerned with skin care, and I think we go to great extremes to make sure that people are taken care of.
Right, that are safe. Not only the client, but the people that, I mean, we lab people. I've known too many, George Bow included, you know, who've suffered because of not understanding that exposure to these elements could be harmful.
That's another thing, mixing medical grade silicones. I'm not surrounded by toxins when I'm mixing it and casting molds.
Exactly. Now, are you, every time I talk to somebody that works with silicone, you know, they're always very proud of the fact that they've come up with this wonderful encapsulation process that nobody else has, and my edges are the thinnest and the best. You know what I mean?
I know, you know, I feel the same way.
I have no reason to, you know, to not believe what they're saying. But what, in your opinion, without giving out any formulas, what in your opinion, makes for the best and the finest, most dissolvable, natural appearing edges in a silicone piece?
Well, you know, I'll say one thing. Everybody likes to pretend they have a secret or have the secret.
Yes.
Everybody knows what everybody else is doing.
Yes.
There's no secret.
Nobody wants to admit
Nobody
it.
wants to admit it. Nobody wants to validate or verify someone else's theory. But the truth is, you know, we're all kind of evolving at the same time.
Yeah.
I was playing around with like scar material and or gelatin encased in scar material.
Yeah.
Around the same time, Greg Canham was starting to develop his silicone prosthetics.
Yeah.
I think we owe it all to Gordon Smith.
Yes.
He's the guy who started with the silicone.
His name
20 years ago almost.
Exactly. Always comes up. But he's not doing makeup any longer.
Isn't he? I don't know.
Is he still doing work?
You know, when I talked to him, I interviewed him for a magazine one time, for Makeup Artist magazine.
Yes.
He said he doesn't even consider himself a makeup artist.
Yeah.
He's more just a design guy and a general artist, and he hires people. But I don't know. I think he still works. He must have.
Yeah, we'll give Gordon a call.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a shame to see him not working because he's produced such beautiful work over the years.
That's historic.
It's like Rick Baker took time off. Everyone was afraid he wasn't going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
It would kill me not to see Rick Baker's work on the screen.
Yes, yes.
It would just, it would be too...
these are geniuses. I mean, these are people that have made such a mark in makeup artistry that, you know, it's difficult to even think about you know, any film coming out that has any degree of that kind of incredible work, not considering the use of the likes of a Rick Baker or Gordon Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Me, I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants.
Right.
That's all I'm doing. I see what they've done. I tweak it a little bit to make it my own.
Yes.
And a lot of, you talked about edges, a lot of it's just in the molding process, getting the mold absolutely right, getting the sculpt to blend it exactly right. Every little stage has its effect. And when you're casting the silicone, it's a matter of casting it with just the right amount of softness.
Yes.
All these little things come into play.
Right. It has to be right all the way along.
Absolutely. So I don't think there's any one thing that makes it. But I mean, I've been fortunate enough to work with the likes of my dad, Rick Baker, V. Neal, Greg Canham, and many others, and learned from them.
Yes.
And finally decided, you know what, I didn't want to ever open a shop and just create a bunch of stuff, hack them out, gore films, and I wanted to be special.
Yes.
So I studied with these other people, and I waited until I felt really ready to start taking on shows. And once I was, it was about 4.5 years ago, I said, okay, let's do it. And my wife and I opened this shop. Yes. I had a partner for the first year named Steve Proud. He was a brilliant makeup artist. Yes. And he, after the first year, decided he wanted to go back to freelance and work around. We parted very amicably. But since then, since that time, we've done you know, Mission Impossible 3, the Tom Cruise makeup, which Michelle Burke and I did. In Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, she's terrific.
She's fantastic. And it's another great person, artist I've learned from.
Absolutely.
And then last year, just a little before this time, we started the Star Trek movie. Yes. We designed all the aliens for that.
So you've kind of taken over that genre?
I don't know. We'll just see how it all plays out. I would love to keep doing Star Trek. It was just so much fun.
So
and
Mike
such
Westmore
a
was not involved in that. Yes.
No, this is all a whole new perspective on the franchise.
Now I saw very briefly. I saw on the cover of some magazine. I'm not sure which it was. A very young Spock and Captain Kirk. Now is this the film you've
this is the
done?
one. Yeah.
This is very exciting.
It's very exciting. It's a whole new.
It's starting
crew.
all over again.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, there's your retirement right there. Oh my God.
But we'll see how the film does and see where my career and what my career is like when and if they go into a sequel. See if they want me. I think we did a good job.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I wish I could show you things.
I'd love to
from
see,
it.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I'm sworn to secrecy until the film comes out.
And I understand that, and our audience also understands that. But perhaps once the film is released, we could come out and visit you
That'd
again.
be fantastic.
And
love that.
and we'll do a much more in-depth interview, specifically about all the work that you did on the new Star Trek.
I think it's worthy. There's a lot. We had some great artists and great hard-working technicians.
Yes.
And I'm really proud of the work that we accomplished.
Excellent. That's really great, Barney.
Thank you.
Listen, I know that you're a busy man, and I really appreciate your allowing us to come in here.
It's my pleasure,
and
really.
to talk. I want to do this again.
Okay.
So if you can, put up with us coming by one more time, I'd sure appreciate it.
All right.
And honestly, if you had the time during your schedule, depending on how the industry, which direction the industry takes you. Our school is always open to you.
Well, thank you.
I mean, to come in as a guest.
Oh,
I'd like to have you not just as to teach the entire program, but also to come in as a guest and to show what you've done.
That would be great.
Because it's not only is it great to see you, it was great to know that you and your brother were both working for me at the same time. Rob was down in Florida, and you were up here.
Yeah.
And
we were emailing each other. How's it going? How are your students?
That's great. All right, so Barney, thank you so much for being such a great guy and for doing such wonderful work. And I really do look forward to seeing that new Star Trek.
I'm really quite honored that you came to my studio, so I really appreciate it.
No, are you kidding? It's my honor. Completely.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Thank you so much, Barney. It's just great being here.
Thank you.
And you're a real gentleman.
Oh, thank you.
And I know that everybody out there on the web has really enjoyed my visit with you today. Oh. And what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to give you our web address right here. All right. It is the Proteus. It's www.proteus, PROTEUSFX.com. All right. And that is, again, www.proteusfx.com. And that is this lab that you are about to see that Barney Burman has made very well known. Don't go away. We're going to be right back with a tour of the lab right after this.